Welcome one and all to my presentation. I am Kavya Shaji, first year MSW student, Loyola College of Social Science. In this video, I am going to explain the skills and tools for social casework practice. At first, let's look what is social work. Social work is helping others to help themselves. In today's scenario, population is getting higher each day. So certain skills, tools and techniques are essential for a social worker to excel in one's profession. Casework is a method of working with individuals. And also, here is a definition of social casework by Mary Richmond. According to her, casework is the process of developing an adjustment consciously between individuals and his social environment. What is a skill? Okay, we need skills in everyday life to interact with people. As a social worker, it's a major and important aspect to gain skills while engaged with people and doing certain intervention on them in casework too. Skill in finding out alternative solutions. Skill is the ability to apply knowledge in a situation. After having established a good relationship, explore his problem and the used available resources. Next important step is to discuss the possible approach to solve the problem effectively and efficiently. Skill required in helping the client to understand each alternative with all its implications and to decide for the best possible course of action in the situation. There are 16 major skills in social casework. The first one, interview skill, include listening, observation, home visit, relationship are the major interviewing skills. These we used as tools which we study later. Then documentation skills. Process of preparing documentation focuses the assessment and understanding of the client's goal. It provides a starting point with the client for subsequent intervention and serves as a method of evaluation for the intervention. The next, application of practice model. Depending on the nature of the problem, the social caseworker can either intervene directly using model of casework or refer the client to professionals who practice these models. For example, the caseworker can use CBT or client-centered therapy, or if she feels the client requires yoga, she can refer the client to a yoga professional. The next is environmental manipulation or modification. When the client's environment is preventing the client from becoming functional, or if the environment is harmful or dangerous, the caseworker works towards assisting the client to change their environment. For example, in the field work practice of one of our classmates, there was a man who would abuse his orphan nephews and niece after being drunk. To modify this abuse is an important challenge of the social worker. If the children's rights have to be protected, the social worker need to talk to the men and child line if required. The next is teamwork or collaboration. The ability to work on a team and collaborate effectively is a necessary skill to succeed in the field of social work. Next, designing and implementing care plans. It includes assessment, diagnosis, outcomes, and planning, implementation and evaluation. The next one is counseling and guidance. Counseling. Help is provided to the client without social services, whereas in casework. Administration of services in concrete form is an essential component of the intervention strategy. Next one, family counseling. Sometimes the problem of the client can be solved only if the family dynamics change. The family may be a primary reason why the client find it difficult to change. Interventions with family, especially in the form of family counseling, may be required. The next skill is therapeutic skill. Is a course in professional skill in which the student will learn to understand and apply basic psychotherapeutic skills in a clinical and health psychological setting. The next one is advocacy or education. At other times, the client's social situation needs to change, but the client has no power or knowledge to do it. For example, the client's problem may be solved through filing an RTI or a complaint with the police. In such cases, the social worker can help the client by educating him or her to file an RTI. The social worker can raise complaints or also advocate for the client before authorities. Next one is crisis intervention. It is a skill needed for making an intervention when there is a crisis. One of the seminar is on crisis intervention model. We shall learn that later. The next one is resource brokering or referral. Refer or transfer the case to other available resources or agencies. Mobilize resource for clients through resource mobilization, networking, coordination, etc. The social worker should purposefully establish a network of contacts and resources so he or she can use it to help the clients. Outcome or practice evaluation. Evidence-based practice is required for the profession to grow. Then, discharge planning, the method of releasing a client from the formal environment and process of treatment. During discharge planning, a detailed plan is made for continuing certain behaviors or intervention which will help to prevent relapse or better client's functioning. Follow-up schedules are also planned. For example, the client may be connected to a support group which meet once in 2 weeks. The client may be given homeworks or the client may be encouraged to maintain a schedule or join a course, all of which will maintain the result of the treatment. The next skill in facilitating smooth transition or follow-up. After evaluation, the phase is termination and then follow-up. The termination should not be abrupt. The client should be slowly strengthened and be prepared for termination. For better results, if termination does not happen in a smooth way, the client may be left anxious. Discharge planning and termination should be done with sensitivity and care. Then system integration. Social work involves integration of various systems: individual, family, school, community, state, nation. The system approach, which include micro, meso, and macro system, should be also kept in mind during the practice with individuals. We have to contribute to creating links and network between systems and improve the overall functioning of the system to make it more just and equitable. Then quality improvement. How to improve the quality of our practices is in itself a skill. Developing self-awareness, planning and implementing personal and professional development activities are important so we can be better human beings and practitioners. Going to next slide, tools. What is a tool? So a tool is anything that serves as a means of operation in the practice of a trade, occupation or a profession. The tools of an occupation like carpentry being concrete, tangible and determinate lend themselves to sensory perceptions. Casework tools on the other hand are abstract concepts and not concrete instrument or thing that can be handled by one's limbs. The tools used in casework are listening, observation, interview, relationship and home visit. The word tool, which immediately produces the mental image of the concrete things, cannot be easily explained when it is used as intangible, non-material entity. What are the major casework tools? Casework tools are means of access to information about the client, his family, his problem. The tools used in casework are listening, observation, interview, relationship, and home visit. Casework tool interview. The casework interview refers to the meeting of social worker and the client in a face-to-face conversation. It is not a casual conversation but a professional activity on the part of the social worker because the conversation is geared to specific or general purpose. Home visits. Home visit definitely advantages in that it enables a social worker to observe the home environment of the client. Importantly, the interaction which take place among the family members lend themselves to social workers' observation from which the social worker is able to make useful inference about the attitude and relationship within the family. The main purpose of home visit is to assess the client's situation in his family and neighborhood environment. It helps the client to build trust and confidence upon social worker, which ultimately helps in rapport building. Then the next tool is collateral contact. A collateral contact is a source of information that is knowledgeable about the client situation and serves to support or collaborate information provided by a client. Collateral contact can be made either through telephone, email, or personal interaction. It can include family, friends, bosses, relatives, etc. Then the next tool is the referral. In the casework process, it is not possible always to solve the client's problem in the same agency and by the same worker. Therefore, sometimes cases are transferred or referred to another agency for rendering expertise to help the client. The helping process does not end in a referral, but it is a contact with a particular caseworker or the agency who will take over the case. A referral is done for various considerations when a different type of worker or therapy is required to achieve the finally formulated goals of the treatment, and when the worker and the client find it difficult to move to assume no responsibility. Now we are looking on the importance of listening in casework and its obstacles. Listening is the basic casework tool. The purpose is to understand the speaker's words and feeling as accurately as possible, for which mental concentration is necessary. The listener has to pay attention to what is said and what is not said and what is suggested. Listening therefore becomes a consciously performed activity for the social worker. Obstacles for learning are various kinds of distraction or take part of listening. They are external and internal distraction. The noise from environment and other talking are the kind of externals, and one's own thought and connected or unconnected with speaker or subject of matter of speech are internal distraction. Observation is the practice of noticing features, people, things, or situation, and in the context of casework, the purpose is used to observe data for understand the clients and the situation. The caseworker has to take cognizance of the following with reference to the client: the general outward appearance, facial expression, posture, gesture, etc., the characteristic, particularly the emotional nuance of the interaction that take place between the client and others, including their family members, and the environment of the client. These are the references that I have referred. I thank you all wholeheartedly. I hope you all have understood. Thank you so much.